Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some more Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. The Friday preseason opener for the Pittsburgh Steelers was the firsts for many players, first for guys like Justin Fields, for the entire rookie class, obviously, but the first time we've gotten to see new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith call a game inside a stadium for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And while I know, obviously, A, they only scored 12 points, and B, it's preseason, you're not really game planning, and preseason results are not always indicative of regular season results, as last year indicated, I wanted to walk through my first impressions of Arthur Smith and his offense. So let's talk about it. Before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site SteelersDepot.com. Would really appreciate that. We're going to focus mostly on pass plays. We showed some of the run concepts in my Zach Frazier breakdown, which I'll link in the description. First play here that I'm going to show, fake toss to the left and this throwback screen to George Pickens, isolated with this jet action as well from Calvin Austin to serve as some window dressing. Pittsburgh ran this play a couple times in training camp. There are times where they will just literally toss the ball and make this the run play and then work off of it with a constraint of throwing the screen to George Pickens. So there's kind of some multiple layers, but this one designed the whole way to be the pass to Pickens, and it just creates isolation. You're getting the motion here. You're getting the defense all flowing this way, off the toss action, off the initial steps here of the offensive line, and you're getting Pickens out in space one-on-one with some blockers in front. A little bit of risk to this one because it takes a second to develop, and if the corner is really tight, there could be some consequences to it, but I like the overall concept and really building off of it because, again, in camp, they would actually run the toss at first and then come back and throw the screen. That's a constraint play. You're using one play to set up another or building off of the same initial look. So nice job here by George Pickens to create that separation. He's really improved his yak. Spencer Anderson, kudos to him for getting out in space. You see Fautanu trying to motor out there as well. So just overall, like some of these concepts and building off of it that I've seen throughout camp, things we did not see as often under Matt Canada. I won't spend too much time on the play action element of this game. I just want to show a couple examples and go through them briefly. I wrote about play action basically right after the Friday game, and we're going to see a lot more play action in Pittsburgh under Arthur Smith than we have seen in Pittsburgh for a long, long time. I promise you guys that. So, and again, just kind of being able to run similar or the same concepts dressed up in different ways. So Pittsburgh max protection, 2x2 formation, twin receiver set, keep the tight ends in. Play action, you're going to hit Jefferson on this, basically corner route with this clear out by George Pickens. The back will leak to the flat as check down if nothing is available downfield. So again, max protection to give Fields plenty of time to let these vertical and downfield routes develop. But I just like the play action component of it. And as we'll see, you can kind of layer this and run these similar concepts in different looks, but get the same concept and same goal. And to illustrate that a little bit later in the game, the same concept, same idea, but this time instead of out of a 2x2 look with the twin wide receivers, it's 3x1. So again, max protection, tight ends are going to stay in. You're going to get this Yankee concept, or almost a Yankee concept here with this over route and then this vertical route by Scotty Miller. Des Fitzpatrick's going to work leverage here on the cornerback, break away to the inside. He's got leverage, and then Kyle Allen makes a strong throw to put it on the money under pressure for a big, I think it was a 34-yard gain to Des Fitzpatrick. So it's the same idea as before with Jefferson running the sideline, but this time add a 3x1 instead of 2x2, and Fitzpatrick coming across the field as opposed to Jefferson, who was already on that side, aligned pre-snap, and then stemmed inside initially and then came back out towards the sideline. So just different ways to run the same concept. Football 101, but it's been lacking in Pittsburgh for several seasons, and so just being able to do those little things to accomplish the same goal in a different look and different way is going to be big, and again, all off of play action. A concept I don't talk about too much and maybe matters a little bit less at the NFL level compared to college, because in the NFL the hashes are more narrow, they're closer together, but this idea of FIB, formation in boundary, typically teams will put their formation to the open side of the field. So in this case, the ball's on the right hash, generally you're going to get the strength of the formation to the open side, in this case, the left. Here, though, you're getting this trips bunch look to the right on the close side, the boundary side, you could say, of the field, this formation in boundary. And I just kind of like the idea of that, a different presentation to the defense, make them defend this bunch in a more confined space. There can be some disadvantages for the offense. Obviously, again, you're working in more limited space, but trying to make the defense distribute all that in kind of close quarters and using bunch to create stacks and free releases and not allow the corners to reroute and jam and disrupt at the line is also nice. And just again, just simple concept overall, running the out route to Van Jefferson past the 6. It was caught. They ruled it incomplete. Tomlin should have challenged. He didn't. This is a catch in my book all the way. It's a successful concept and outcome. But I just like this idea. You don't see it a ton at the NFL level. You see it some in college, probably less because the hashes are much wider. But I just kind of like giving that different look to the defense. So you've seen a lot of bunches and stacks. We'll talk about that a bit more throughout this video. Also, you got backside Calvin Austin running this kind of jerk pivot route. So if you don't like anything up top, or if you like the matchup to the bottom, you can isolate that with that wide side of the field to give a shifty player like Austin plenty of space to work in. So overall, like the idea, the concept, play was successful. Unfortunately, a bad call and no challenge negated it. But overall, I'm happy with this play call by Arthur Smith. And while we're on the topic of constraint plays, let's look at another layer. So we saw this play action concept out of 2x2 to Van Jefferson. We saw it out of 3x1 to Des Fitzpatrick. Let's add a different layer. Let's run the same look, 3x1 play action, the same route concepts, this over and this clear out route, but we're not intending to throw it downfield. We're throwing a running back screen on this play. Screen game, another element that's been worked on a lot in camp. Pittsburgh, of course, has been terrible at running back screens for far too long. You're going to see more use and hopefully more success under Arthur Smith. So same overall look. You got the same motion that was from the Des Fitzpatrick example, but this time they're going to run the screen to the running back, LaMichael Pirine. So defense might think, okay, they're running the same concept. They're going to throw deep again. We're going to throw short this time. Unfortunately, as was the case in many instances in this Texans game, and the primary reason why Pittsburgh only scored 12 points in this one, obviously you're dealing with a lot of backups and rookies, etc. Bad throw here by Kyle Allen over the head of Pirine. If this thing is caught, Pirine has just green grass in front of him. There's one defender. He's got 2-3 blockers in front. This is going to be hit. This could be a touchdown right here. And again, it's all off this, initial 2x2 look, and then the same concept in 3x1, and then building the screen into it. The defense is running. They're carrying these vertically. They're thinking about the deep ball again. Pittsburgh's already hit it on him a couple of times. And unfortunately, the execution was just a little poor. Obviously, when you're running these screens, you're getting a bit of pressure, but this is a throw that Kyle Allen has to make. Unfortunately, sails on him. But you're seeing all these layers, and that's what I think good coaches do. They layer their offense. It's not about just one play call that is unstoppable, that doesn't exist, but can you be able to keep defenses off balance with how you show the same looks and then actually have different play calls or different ways to accomplish the same things. I mean, there's only so many concepts in the world, and NFL coaches, they're smart. They know basically what everyone runs, but can you dress it up in different ways and keep defenses on their toes by presenting it in different looks and then making the defense think they're getting one thing, but they're actually getting something else. You see that on this play. So happy with the idea. The execution needs work, but of course, it won't be Kyle Allen throwing passes come week 1. What impressed me most about Smith in this game was the low red zone passing calls. There's 3 that really stuck out to me. And of course, when you're in low red zone, goal to go inside the 10, you're in such prime real estate, and the difference between putting the ball in the end zone for 7 versus a field goal for 3, it can be so monumental. Clearly, and Pittsburgh too often has settled for field goals. They got a great kicker in Chris Boswell, but got to put the ball in the end zone a lot more in 2024. That's my highbrow analysis. So going to get this mesh concept and this wheel as well. So we're going to watch Scotty Miller and Connor Hayward run the mesh. The Y sets the mesh, and so Hayward's going to run over top. Miller's going to work underneath. It's a great man beater overall. And you're also going to get the running back wheel. That's running back Jonathan Ward, who's going to work upfield. A little bit tight territory to try to do this in with Ward, but different options for Kyle Allen to target here, and works best against man coverage. Not ideal coverage you get here from Houston, but just like the concept in general. Obviously, Pittsburgh's not game planning super hard. They're not doing a scouting report on Houston, so even if you're not getting the exact coverage that you want, I'm not really putting a lot of stock into what the defense is doing. I just like to call, mesh wheel. It's run a lot at the NFL level. A lot of the high level offenses can put this play call in, and it's an easy completion from Allen to Miller. Doesn't get a ton of yards. Again, if it was true man to man, if you had a better tendency about when they'd run man coverage, this one could be more successful. But just kind of like being able to create these picks and rubs and horizontal football in tight near the goal line. That'll be a theme of our next two clips. Here's the fourth down incompletion to Calvin Austin. This one should have been a touchdown. And again, big reason for the offensive failures in this one to me was not coaching, not schematics. It was just flat out poor execution. And you're seeing these picks and rubs that Smith is really good at dialing up. And of course, Pittsburgh runs their 7 shots almost every practice at the start of the team period. So they're putting the ball on the 2. The ball is on the 2-yard line here. So you were in just true 7-shot territory. You get the slant fade combination. You're going to get Des Fitzpatrick running the slant. Austin to the back left pylon. Defense, they don't banjo. They don't pass this off well. Austin is wide open. And you get what should have been an easy layup touchdown from Allen to Austin. Poor throw by Allen. Austin, if he can avoid bobbling that, he still probably scores, but I put this on Allen more than I do Austin for this failed conversion. But again, putting that aside, looking at the concept, looking at the scheme, can you scheme guys open when there is not a lot of field to do so? Can you avoid, as I think one of Canada's biggest shortcomings was just kind of asking players to win independently, just hope that they could win their route and their matchup, and the quarterback could put the ball on them. And there's a level that you have to do that and expect that at the NFL, but you have to scheme guys open too. That's the coach's job. And you're seeing a lot of these crossers and picks and rubs down near the goal line. Great example here. Defense gets confused. Should have been a touchdown, unfortunately was not. However, there was some redemption down near the goal line for the first touchdown of the Pittsburgh Steelers 2024 season in the right flat to tight end Connor Hayward. Again, you're getting these picks and rubs and play action to keep the defense. If they can be out leveraged just a bit, especially down here in the flat, if you're a step ahead, you're going to be in good territory because you only need to be a step ahead to put the ball in the end zone and get 6 yards on this play. So Pittsburgh, out of their heavy personnel, 13 personnel, 3 tight ends, 1 backside receiver. You're going to get Rodney Williams standing up. He's going to come down almost like he's blocking to help A, sell the run, and then B, kind of create this rub. It's going to get Hayward open in the right flat. So we're going to watch off of play action this DB really bite on that. And you're going to get Williams as well. Not that he's picking the defensive end who's staying in or who's rushing, but it still might create A, the run fake, and then B, a little bit of traffic for this defender to potentially have to work around. Doesn't really get caught up in it here, but the play fake and Williams being able to sell that as Hayward immediately goes out, because if Williams will stay on the other side and Hayward immediately runs to the flat as he has to, then the DB's going to be able to key that better, less likely to be fooled on play action, be able to match that in the flat, and probably not going to get a good outcome out of it. So this action here really helps influence him and then potentially create that rub. You see all these eyes in the backfield. He's finally turning, but he's out leveraged at this point. Eyes in the backfield, and Hayward's open in the flat for the touchdown. Good finish to get that ball over the goal line. So just little things like this. How do you work guys open? How do you get someone open by a step? We've seen mesh, wheel. We've seen slant fade. We've got this little pick play down here with the tight ends out of this heavy personnel. We were thinking run all the way. It's 1st and goal on the 6. They got their bigs in. They're going to run the football. Nope, play action. Get it to Hayward in the flat. So love this call overall. Love what Smith was able to do, what he dialed up down near the goal line, and it results in a Pittsburgh Steelers touchdown. Despite the lackluster point total, Pittsburgh hit a couple of big plays in the passing game in this one. Going to get a 20-plus yard completion to Calvin Austin. Pittsburgh got a 2x2. They're going to run what functionally is a sail concept, this three-level route with a flat route, a corner route, and a vertical clear out. And you can run that typically 3x1. Maybe the back comes out in the flat. You got three receivers to a side. One runs in the flat, one runs the corner route, and one runs vertically. But Pittsburgh able to show it at a 2x2. You're going to get Des Fitzpatrick coming across and basically helping to keep the underneath defender shallow and not sinking on this 7 route by Austin and being there as a potential check down option for Allen if the defense does sink. But you're going to get basically Fitzpatrick in the flat, getting the vertical clear out here that carries the corner, holds the safety, and then Calvin Austin running behind on the corner route to the sideline. And then Kyle Allen, after avoiding pressure, is able to find Austin, who gets a bit of yak. It's a 24, 25-yard gain on this play. And again, you're also getting the stack, too, with the receivers at the top to help create free releases. When you have undersized receivers like Miller, he's the point man here, but particularly Austin, you want these guys to get free releases to be able to get into the route, to build up speed, not have to worry about getting off press coverage where they could get beat up and slow down and mess the timing of the route. So just a nice concept here, the vertical clear out, the corner route, the underneath route. You got check down options as well. It's a good job by Allen to avoid pressure, keep his eyes downfield, and Austin to make the play. Similar idea a bit later in the game. Again, you saw a lot of stacks from receivers. You saw 3x1, you saw trips bunch, you saw these 2 receiver stacks, and this has happened a lot in training camp too, particularly with guys like George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth. I know one big concern, understandably, is if Pittsburgh could not add a standout wide receiver, will Pickens get double-teamed a bunch? Will he be taken away? And there's a concern to that to some level, but if Arthur Smith can scheme Pickens open by changing his alignment and by doing things like stacks and bunches to create those free releases, it's going to be harder for defenses to key in on him and take him away. This play pretty similar to the last one we just saw. Again, you're getting a 2x2 look here. Jere Jenkins. It's not really to the flat. It's kind of more an over-the-ball type of route where he's sitting, but you're still kind of holding these underneath defenders a bit to make them respect that, and then running the clear out with Quez Watkins and Calvin Austin to the corner. The clear out's going to carry the corner, and the safety turns as well. Austin runs behind. I know Houston's not game planning here. I know that's true for every side, but just looking at some of the concepts that Smith's going to bring, this is just stuff I have not seen as much before. Really scheming guys open, running true route combinations, not just independently hoping receivers are able to win their one-on-one matchups. And a nice job here by Allen. Under pressure, a good ball to the 20-plus yard completion to Calvin Austin. Let's end with something super simple. We've seen some big plays, seen some touchdowns. This is neither of those things. 1st and 10. You're down 20-6, last play of the third quarter. What can you call on 1st down to get you a couple yards, keep your offense on schedule, and really kind of get the drive going? 2x2, out of pistol. Seen a fair amount of pistol in camp. Only saw it, I think, twice in this game, but could be an element, especially if Justin Fields gets some snaps in a package for him, where you can do a lot of things out of pistol here. But what we're going to look at is just simple mirrored concepts. 2x2. You're going to get these out routes, almost speed outs by the receivers against off coverage. Let's keep it simple. Instead of running on 1st down, let's run the out route to Scotty Miller. We'll pick up a couple yards. Yeah, it's not going to be a 20-yard play, but we get whatever that is, 6 yards or so on 1st down. We're in 2nd and 4. We're staying on schedule. We can run the ball. The whole playbook opens up. Let's see what this ended up being. Yeah, 2nd and 4. So we're in a great spot here to really get this drive going, get another 1st down, or get a 1st down, and kind of hopefully start stacking some plays to get a drive going. So you get these reduced splits, which is a hallmark of the Arthur Smith offense. You're going to get much more narrow splits by the receivers, the eligibles, than you saw under Matt Canada. It's going to help open up routes like the out route. Hard to run that out route if you're really aligned wide here. So again, 2x2, you're going to get 12 personnel. You're kind of making the defense potentially out of the huddle, think run. You're keeping them in their base defense. So some of these coverages get more simple because you don't want too much exotic coverage calls and concepts with your linebackers who might be having to, put on more coverage responsibilities and say a nickel corner and just off coverage to either side. The quarterback can pick the more favorable matchup, a stack here again to create some free releases. Watkins on the out, you could have hit that. You got Miller open to the bottom, that's fine too. Pick up 6 yards on first down, we're 2nd-4, and we're kind of moving along here to start the drive. So real simple thing, small thing, but under Matt Canada, some of his 1st and 10 calls were those rollouts that would get you like 3, so you're in 2nd and 7, and it just, you're not really accomplishing much. Now we're in 2nd and 4. We're in a lot better place. So I don't mean to, do this direct comparison between Canada and Smith, and who knows how the Arthur Smith experience will go. If this offense can't produce, no one will care about what they did in a preseason opener against the Houston Texans, but just overall, you're seeing a lot, to me, just a lot more NFL-looking offense, a lot more competent calls and things you see around the league finally coming to Pittsburgh with Arthur Smith. So not making commentary on how the year will go, but you see differences, and I'm encouraged. So those are my thoughts on Arthur Smith week 1 as a play caller. Obviously, Pittsburgh themselves are doing a lot of base and, just not installation things, but running kind of your core concepts. And I think Smith said they wanted to work on screen game in this one, so you might be leaning on screens a bit more. You're not game planning, but just like what I see so far with especially low red zone, scheming guys open, and the use of stacks and bunches to create free releases. I think overall that's 2 very refreshing things to see in Pittsburgh. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com, where there's a ton more film rooms and analysis that are not always posted on the channel. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.